I answer the phone. Mom says, "We're at emergency, your dad. His abdominal aortic aneurysm burst. He won't live through the night." I've anticipated this call for 8 years, these words lifted from some hackneyed script. Won't live through the night. So when my son asks, should we go to his grandpa, I say no. They said hours. We're in Los Angeles and Chicago. He's in Denver. There's nothing to do, if there ever was something to do, except embrace, take advantage of, appreciate all those hours, months, and years that have gone before, are now coming to what feels like an abrupt ending. Ah, yes. The moment you find out your father is really going to die. I've been my father's daughter, slipping through life with the look of his slim body, my body, his curly hair, my curly hair, and part of his agile mind, an integral part of my mind, understanding him on a visceral level, not just wanting to please him, but wanting him to know me like I know him. And his last words to me were, no, let's start at the beginning. Daddy was a World War II veteran, a radio operator, a gunner on a B-24. He had a Charles Dickens sort of childhood. He was smart, witty, funny as hell, a drinker, a gambler, and oddly enough, extremely dependable. And he didn't like or respect women much, so he was devastated and never forgave my older sister for being born a girl. And yet, he said the first time he laid eyes on me, also a girl, a light switched on inside of him. So I won the prize, I guess. By default, I became Daddy's little girl, taking the focus and some of the heat off my sister, for which she was forever grateful. Now, this didn't mean that he was happy that I was a girl. He just tolerated a little bit better the second time around, I guess, which was just enough to encourage me to spend 66 years trying to get him to see beyond that, yeah, but you're always going to be a girl, tragic flaw of mine. I adored my dad and was determined that I was going to earn my way into his sphere of vision by being all things female, because I happen to enjoy being a girl. But also, all things male, too. Because that's not only what Dad thought was best, but that's what society thought was best as well. So I was a scholar, AKA a straight-A student, including everything, including math and science, a champion competitive swimmer, a gymnast, and in 5th grade, with my skirt tucked into my pants, because remember, girls couldn't wear pants, just pants to school back then, I could high jump 2 inches higher than any boy in the school. I knew everything about the Yankees. I watched football, boxing, Maverick and Wyatt Earp with Dad, wearing a pair of glittery plastic high heels from Woolworth's while cradling one of my 100 dolls. I made banana splits the way my daddy liked them, and I cleaned the kitchen spick and span. I wore my hair long. I was first chair clarinet, an instrument he wanted to play in the honor band, and a cheerleader. Of course, I would rather have played on one of those teams, on those sports, but girls weren't allowed. But Dad never saw any of those swim or gymnastics meets. Maybe he came to one band concert. No solo contest I won. I don't remember him ever reading a book to me or asking me what I did at school. He was shocked that I intended to go to college because, well, women were, at the end of the day, just dumb broads. Dad's parenting style was a little bit Chicago street sense mixed with Air Force discipline, the intensity of which was influenced by how much alcohol he'd drunk, and took place at the dinner table where he played word games with me and often drove me to tears to toughen me up, but mostly he told stories about his life. For example, how when he was a kid, he had a paper route, and one morning in a horrible blizzard, he got up really early and delivered all his papers, every single paper, behind the screen door for all of his customers so that they wouldn't have to go out in the cold themselves. He was a great storyteller. Boy, he could make you laugh till you cried, or cry till you laughed. And he told them over and over again, but they were always a little bit different, and they were better every time. And you learned stuff if you listened, which I did. I was an avid listener. That's where I shone my brightest. Maybe the best gift that my daddy gave me was telling me that when I was 10 that I should treat everyone like it was the last time that I would ever see them. And then he gave me the opportunity to put that advice to the test. Because in 2009, he was diagnosed with an abdominal aortic aneurysm, and he decides not to have some hard-to-recover-from surgery, choosing instead the 6 months he's probably got, because he wants a shot at lucidly watching the Yankees win another World Series, which he does because they do. Now, understand that the family supports this decision. We think, okay, quality over quantity. He's 85, no bad blood, we love each other, we're cool. We're all cool. So when the 6th month you're probably going to die mark comes, we're ready, and we say, bye. But he doesn't die. The aneurysm doesn't burst, he remains vital and active, and so we say goodbye again, and again, and again, for 8 years. Like on the phone, 4 years into waiting, he says, yeah, I'm on my way out. And it's clear that I'm shedding all the abilities and strengths I once had one by one. I'll go out of here naked with my arms outstretched and upward. Right now, I'm down to a loincloth, one brown sock, and the ragged waistband of a pair of underwear from World War II. I love you, darling. Goodbye. And he hangs up. So a couple years after that, 3 years, I don't know, my dad's talking about his shitty childhood again. And he ends with, you don't understand. I say, yeah, that's true, I don't, because I was lucky. All through my whole childhood, I knew I was loved. He stares at me. And then he sneers and he says, well, good for you. Whoa. My dad is jealous of my childhood. Man, that's got to be the definition of narcissism, right? And it explains, well, I don't know, everything, right? In the few stories he ever tells that include me, he always has the starring role, right? Carried me around when I was teething for so long, his arm went numb. I fell off the back porch once, but the tragedy was not my concussion, but how poorly he built the porch. Oh, poor Dad. Great, he's a narcissist. I never need his acknowledgement again. This is great. He can't give it, right? I mean, all through my life, Dad has never asked me any questions. But so what? The bottom line is, I know he loved me. I always knew my daddy loved me. He just never thought about me. And that's okay. So that day, I let go of my need for my dad to acknowledge me, which allowed me to be more than my father's daughter. Dad and me, we became partners. So a couple of weeks before he dies, we're sitting on the couch talking about that partnership. And I thank him for letting me watch him age so gracefully. And I suggest that maybe finally he sees me. He chuckles and he says, yeah, I really do. And I like what I see. I'm so sorry that I didn't before, because that hurts like hell. I know that because my dad never saw me. And then he tells me again about delivering those newspapers in the blizzard. But this time, he adds that when he got home that day, all frostbitten and proud, his dad beat him, called him an idiot, and threw him in his room without breakfast, and never apologized. My dad's dad never saw him. So I went back to Los Angeles the next day and I texted my dad. I said, I just want to say regarding our conversation about our need to be seen, that I have seen, do see you, a man born with a moral compass, who survived the blows and hardships, the bullying of a harsh and unforgiving childhood. You're a good man, Dad, a soldier to the end, and I'm proud of you for delivering each and every newspaper in that god-awful blizzard. I love you. And he wrote back, PL, period. If you look at the keyboard, the P is next to the O, the L is next to the K. This guy, this old man that was winding down and could hardly move, wrote okay. 9 days later, with just hours to live, over the phone, Dad says, hey kid, this is it. And it is. And so I say, okay then, old man, fare thee well. God bless. Thanks for being my daddy-o, for fighting the good fight. It's going to be all right, you know. You're going to be all right, okay? Let yourself be all right, Daddy. I want to thank my dad for making my dates shake hands with him and look him in the eye. For telling me jokes, for writing me letters saying things like, keep going to the plate for your at-bats, darling. There's some home runs in those plate appearances. Here's for many RBIs, roles befitting involvement. Thank you, Daddy, for taking me to the Playboy Club on my 21st birthday. For never, ever touching me inappropriately or not even thinking about it, and for letting me sit on your lap and kiss you even when I was in my 60s. Because I am my father's daughter, I have an enormous capacity to listen and empathize with others. I'm a great partner. I know how to read men, how to be friendly, yet ward off unwanted advances. Soldiering is what I do. I never give up. I value punctuality and am a person of my word. I'm physically responsible, politically informed, am a verbal gymnast with a large vocabulary, a sense of humor, a passion for storytelling, and I eat a handful of nuts every day. And most importantly, I know from deep and nuanced experience what true love really is.